This is The Fight Against Police Brutality by Brianna Tedesco. What you need to know and be aware of as a worker in the social media industry. It is important for you to all understand the effects of police brutality on the citizens of the United States, especially African Americans. With your full awareness on this topic, you can have the power to help spread change. What is police brutality? Police brutality is the excessive and/or unnecessary force by police on citizens. Excessive use of force means a force that goes well beyond what is needed in order to handle a situation. This is mainly a problem within the United States for African Americans who are given unequal rights. There are multiple forms of how police brutality can be present. In a physical form, through nerve gas, batons, pepper spray, or guns. These are used in order to intimidate or even hurt civilians. Some police officers would do anything to just throw someone in jail or even murder them. How can you protect yourself from police brutality? First and foremost, it is very important to know your rights. It is important to know when you can say no to a police officer or someone in law enforcement. As long as you are completely obeying the law, you are allowed to protect yourself from the officer. Film the officer. It is important to record and capture a video of the police officer in case you need hard evidence against them in court. It is your constitutional right to be able to film or photograph anything you want in a public setting. Police may ask you why you are filming them and may threaten to arrest you if you don't put your camera away, but it is perfectly legal to film an officer while they are on duty. Why police brutality is such an issue. Police officers use excessive force or kill someone and are just being justified for it. African Americans are being largely targeted and subjected to police misconduct. Citizens of America are contemplating whether police officers are just taking care of their responsibilities within their jobs or simply searching for another murder case. The predominance of African Americans among victims of police brutality is anti-Black racism among members of mostly white police departments. It is suspected that similar biases have played a role in police violence committed against other communities that have been traditionally disadvantaged. What are the punishments for police officers accused of police brutality? Unfortunately, many police officers do not even get fired for acts of brutality. Some get paid to leave from their jobs. Many are just charged not guilty, even with hard evidence. Some are put on a pending trial. Why police officers need more punishments? Police officers may use excessive force because of the internalized hatred of a race or perceiving a race of people as violent or dangerous. This shouldn't justify them being allowed to use excessive force or murdering people. With the soft punishments they normally receive, it shows other police officers that in the future they can do the same because the punishment is light or even nothing. Why protesting is necessary. The whole reason protesters are angry is that it seems American cops can get away with almost anything. The public protesting are manifestations of opposition and an expression of the immediate need to reform policy. It's the protesters who are being called violent, even when the majority do nothing but march and chant, though they do refuse to back down. And challenging authority can be a capital crime in a police state. There have certainly been plenty of instances of vandalism and theft accompanying demonstrations, but it's important to make a clear distinction between acts of property destruction and actual violence. Setting a police car on fire is very costly to taxpayers, but harm to human bodies should be far more disturbing, which is the actions that law enforcement has done. Why social media is necessary. Social media is beneficial regarding awareness on how it spreads information among the public and will continue doing so until the quantity of casualties decline. It is important to keep everyone up to date throughout society with what's going on, and social media is a great source to do this by. In the event that it isn't followed up, especially within the younger generation, we will see American culture and enforcement develop increasingly in a negative manner, and it will cause a greater battle on race. The use of hashtags helps spread awareness as well. Social media platforms provide audiences with a front row seat to violent and graphic imagery that has sparked national debate about police brutality and race relations in America. We need to see change within the law system. American police have been brutal for a very long time, and both Democratic and Republican presidents have failed to successfully reform them. We need to start demanding for elected officials and policymakers to be implemented that will ban police officers from issuing fines or making arrests for a range of non serious offenses. This would eliminate the unnecessary interactions between police and community members that have been the catalyst for so much violence and death. We need to pressure local and state governments to reinvest some of the resources that are currently spent on armed police officers. That money can then be used to support mental health practitioners and other non militarized specialists who, in appropriate circumstances, could respond to calls or services. We are at a pivotal moment in our nation's history, and we must not let this opportunity to act pass us by. With the job industry you're in right now, use this information, spread it throughout the media. You can be the change. Help end police brutality.